Hello YouTube, this is a first look at the Fer-de-lance in version 1.2 beta of Elite Dangerous, and I have to say that this ship did not meet with my expectations, as in I was expecting something along the lines of a super hauler, which I guess you could say it is, but I thought it was going to be more of a cargo-oriented ship, and it's not. Even with no shields, the max amount of cargo this ship can carry is 64 tons, so a lot of people aren't going to be hauling a lot of stuff in it. Also, it has a rather anemic jump range at about 13 light years fully kitted out, so it's not going to be great for those long-distance, valuable rare goods trade runs. What this ship does excel at is it's the first Zorgon Peterson model that I say is a combat-oriented ship. It has 4 Class 2 hardpoints and a Class 4, that's right, a Class 4, the same one that's on the Anaconda. And if you look here, I have 4 fixed multi-cannons. I have no trouble hitting my targets. The ship is on par maneuverability-wise with the Clipper, the Dropship, and the Python, maybe even a little bit better than those ships. I imagine there might be some tweaking on this before we see the ship in live. But the convergence on those weapons are perfectly acceptable to use fixed weapons. That's what I'm using here. I think that Class 4 underneath would need to be a gimbaled, ideally. You could put a plasma accelerator down there, but then you start to run into tightness when it comes to power plant, and power if you put one of those on there. So I elected to go with the gimbaled cannon, and I still had plenty of power. It has a lot of utility modules, but it is lacking in the internal modules area. It has a Class 5 compartment for a Class 5 shield. It has a very small fuel tank and only 8 tons, so again, it has limited jump range and jump legs, so you're not going to be going very far very fast. But as we see here, when you get into combat, it performs admirably well. I never lost shields in my engagement in this war zone. I did have a Class 4 shield bank on, and it would recharge my shields just fine. Wasn't running into the power issues that I was on the Vulture. And again, maneuverability is good. It's a medium class landing pad. And in terms of capabilities, I really put it there between a Federal Dropship and a Python. It is certainly slightly more heavily armed than the Federal Dropship, with that Class 4 versus a Class 3 mount. Everything else is the same. And arguably, the Python is still a little bit heavier armed, but this is going to be a rival of those two ships. As such, I'm thinking it's probably going to be there at like a 45 or 50 million credit price tag. But again, we don't know what its price tag is going to be. Everything is 100 credits. I can tell you that I spent around 100 million credits outfitting it fully with Class A gear, 90 to 100 million in the outfitting, because while the ships only cost 100 credits, the outfitting gear all cost the same. Maybe even I spent a little bit more than 100 million. So that kind of gives you an idea of this is not going to be a poor man's ship by any means. And this ship looks cool. I like the look of it. I like that winged body design, and I'm glad that we have the orbital cam or the debug camera now. But I have no trouble taking it down. This Anaconda, granted NPC, I know. I had no problems engaging Imperial fighters. They can be a little annoying when they jink, but I was able to take them out far easier than I was with the Vulture. Eagles, Vipers, Cobras, all of the ships. I really didn't have any problems engaging anything in this game with confidence, at least when it came to NPCs. I'm sure that a good Cobra pilot may give you a run for your money. Speed-wise, it boosts to about 400, I believe around 396, 390, 396-ish. So it has a respectable amount of speed, decent maneuverability, excellent firepower, and the shields don't appear to be that weak, and I don't know about the armor because I never lost my shields. So that's the Fer-de-lance in a nutshell, at least in a first look. I will probably do a more in-depth review later. Thank you very much. See you next time.